My name is Angela Rose, and I'm the Executive Director for CASA of the Pikes Peak region. It is my honor to welcome you to the first ever virtual Light of Hope. I hope that you and your loved ones are and remain safe and healthy. I am so grateful to our presenting business partners, Covington Homes and 360 Painting, and all of our community partners who support CASA. Families are under an incredible amount of stress. They are isolated without support, and many of our children are not in the environments they're used to, where mandatory reporters have eyes on them. All of this has caused the children that we serve to be more vulnerable than ever before. The increase in the number of children that we serve has continued since the pandemic began. Colorado Springs Police Department reported that arrests were up over 22% in March and April over this same time last year. Not only have child abuse cases in number increased, but also their severity has increased. And other contributing factors have increased as well, such as domestic violence, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and financial and emotional stress. All of this makes our work more critical than ever. We're doing virtual visits with children. Our court hearings are being done using WebEx. We have training for our volunteers online, and new volunteers are being sworn in to be officers of the court using Zoom. I am so proud of our staff and our volunteers who have pivoted very quickly to still carry out this mission and serve these children. I know that together we are part of the solution for vulnerable children who need us right now. Your support will provide a CASA advocate that can stand by and speak up for these children in need. I am so grateful for your heart for children. Now please watch this story about how CASA has positively impacted the life of sweet little Annie and her forever family. Thank you.
I was contacted by the CASA office and told that I had been matched up with an infant who was still in the hospital, soon to be released to foster care. The first time I saw Annie, I wasn't prepared for what I would see.
It was scary when we first met her and laid eyes on her and saw how deformed she looked.
Annie's biological mother used drugs while she was pregnant, to the extent that Annie was born with sensory issues due to the drug use. She was malnourished. It's unclear if she had a stroke in utero or if she had a mild case of cerebral palsy. In fact, she had about 16 diagnoses by the time she was probably 9 months old. As an infant, she didn't have the sucking reflex, and she also couldn't swallow, and there were just a lot of problems with her body and the way that it was working because of things that had happened to her in utero. I had no idea if Annie would ever walk, if she would be able to speak, if she had many heart surgeries in her future, and I just didn't know what would be best for her.
One thing that Mary did for us in that aspect, she was able to sit in on some of the visits with Tummy Mommy and help her with parenting.
I didn't know what the biological mother would be like until those visitations started. I quickly learned that the biological mom did not know how to hold a baby, change a diaper, give a baby a bottle, or just sit with a baby. Over time, when those visits would occur in later months, when I would put Annie in her arms, Annie would arch her back and stiffen and scream. Sometimes even with just the sound of her biological mother's voice or the smell of her biological mother, she would know that she was about to be placed in a place that she wasn't safe. And that rips your heart out.
That was the first CASA we had, so we weren't sure exactly what she was going to do, but she did a lot of heavy lifting for us that other times, in other cases, we've had to take that on. We take our time and focus more on Annie's medical needs, her state of mind, and meeting what she needed.
When you become a CASA for a child who is so fragile, It's important to make sure that every service is available yesterday, and to have early intervention, and to make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted, so that the foster family who's providing the care for her has no red tape, so that she can have everything that she needs to succeed. As the case progressed and Annie was improving, but what started happening was her biological mother started missing meetings, and she just wouldn't show up for a visitation or for a staffing or for some of the required meetings or for court. And ultimately, she left town while the case was still going on, and we don't know exactly where she is.
So we had Annie for a couple of years, and we saw that her case was moving toward adoption, and this wasn't why we became foster parents. We've already had our children. We had a grandchild. We didn't think we were going to adopt, but we loved her so much that we just decided to take a chance, and we said yes.
One of the best things about this case, there's so many, but one of the best things about this case was Annie's adoption day. It was just such a great celebration and a commitment for life. And of course, Annie got a stuffed animal, but then Annie got to wrap the gavel for her own adoption, and it was final. And she has a forever family who loves her and respects her and will do the best for her forever. And that's a gift.
I would love to see every case get a CASA, because they are just life-changing to the case. So they are really dedicated to that one child and can make such a difference in their life. So yeah, I would hope that we could just get a lot more volunteers to provide all of these kids a special lady like Mary.
It's kind of interesting being a CASA, because when you first consider it, you think of all the ways that you can give and to be helpful. But what you don't think about is all the ways that you receive. Annie's 5 now. She's accomplished so much in her short lifetime. I cannot wait to see what the future holds.
Thank you for watching Annie's story. As a CASA advocate, I know it's defenseless children that pay the ultimate price for their parents and care providers' mental health and substance abuse issues. I also know that it is up to people like you and me to do everything possible to prevent children from ever being re-abused or neglected. It is up to us to step up and speak up for children here in our community who need us right now. Please join me in making a donation to CASA's virtual Light of Hope. I promise you that it will be one of the most meaningful and impactful gifts you will ever make. Thank you.
Thanks for helping CASA and kids like me.